lady.
She's a nice lady.
Shit, how much time, Alan?
I don't. It's 7:05.
We're good. We're here. Push the button again.
No. You ready?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Are we live? What's happening?
Is that an anal probe, or are you just happy to see me today on Strikeout Beer? So low. And we're live. Welcome to Strikeout Beer, your least favorite podcast, episode number 258, with your pals Alan and Rapid Dave. I'm Alan.
I'm Rapid Dave.
You all right, buddy?
I'm gonna shotgun one of these beers. I'm actually just gonna chug it.
You're just gonna chug it.
Yeah. I might actually just tighten the nut.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be hearing you?
You should. Yeah.
I do not hear you.
You don't? Is he plugged in?
Hold on. Can you hear any of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Now
you
you're good. Okay.
That's loud as hell.
Okay, so just tell me when it's not as loud.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Just let us
Keep
know.
going.
Up?
No, down.
Down.
Only on Strikeout Beer do you get the
Down, down,
behind the
down,
scenes
count.
stuff
Look
during
it
the
up.
show.
Man, it goes there. You go, right
All right, there we go. I asked him before the show, and I go, "Can you hear?" He goes, "Oh, I can hear you perfect." I don't know if he thought
But then you turned it all the way down, right?
No.
No?
Why would
Oh.
I turn it down?
I
But
don't
we're
know,
in the
man.
same room looking at each other. Like, yeah, I can hear you
I
fine.
think
He
it
had
was-
this.
It was from all of your unplugging and
I got you.
volume.
And just in case you didn't know, joining us is Mr. Michael Hinson today. This is special guest number 2. We haven't brought on special guest number 1 yet. But yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you should talk into the microphone.
I'm doing well.
It's a terrible idea. Where's the damn cat?
This
Why are you keeping this up high?
Because it's where your mouth is.
right?
You got it down where your nipple is, Greg.
Last time I
Can you
checked.
milk me?
Yes, I can.
Now we hadn't had to reach this far in a long time.
It takes me back to the old days where like this is how we used to do it. Like we would stare into each other's eyes the entire time and forget the audience.
Yeah.
So
There we go.
Is that the explanation for your viewer count?
Absolutely.
is that we now stare into their eyes?
All right.
Probably.
So what we're having tonight is Deep Ellum Brewing Company, Ellum Ranch. This is patio water, hard seltzer with lime juice and electrolytes.
It's got what
Electrolyte.
plants
It's got
crave.
electrolytes.
4.5% alcohol by volume. It's super light right now. So yeah, this is a local brewery out of Dallas. So I was like, when I saw it, I go, I'm in, because we had community brewing last week, if I'm not mistaken.
You put this on plants.
It shit'll grow.
No, I don't think was
That's
the bright lights. Was that community?
I think so.
Okay.
It's one
Possibly.
of those.
I don't know. It's from a brewery
It's craft hard seltzer.
that brews beer.
You were wondering why our viewer count like sucks.
This is what we bring to the table.
We get worse every single week. Whiskey, thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much for those bits. How you doing, buddy?
Whiskey, what's going on, brother?
Oh, that's
Keanu Reeves I'm buying, but
what the
Right.
hell is this?
Harry from Dumb and Dumber I'm not buying as a SWAT guy.
Oh, this is Speed.
I don't know.
It's Speed.
I know-
Whiskey coming in with the
I know
booze
he's known
again
for other stuff, but it's just funny to say.
from Dumb and Dumber. Because that's
Did he ever bounce back? I mean, I know he's on like some news show that was like,
Mooney Moon's in the house. What's going on, Mooney?
"What's up, Mooney? How are we?"
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why you put it on Speed.
You controlled that TV.
I'm putting the Flintstones on now. Just
That's
because
fine.
of that. King of the Hill, little Big Brother. Does anybody watch Big Brother? When's the last time you watched-
R.I.P. King of the Hill.
Oh, not Boomhauer, the other one. The guy with the glasses and his wife's getting plowed by Comanche Joe. Show was awesome.
It's great.
It's coming back. Like they were actually about to go back and start reshooting or whatever you want to call it. They're bringing it back, just like
Yeah.
Futurama.
Yeah.
They brought back
A revival,
Futurama.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he recorded a few episodes before he passed, but yeah. We're doing good, Mooney. We're doing good. Mr. Busby's in the house. This is an episode for Busby.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Are we
And
ready?
In case you guys don't know, we're talking aliens today. And not just aliens. We're getting into the congressional hearing that took place. How long ago was that? Was that about a month ago?
I
I
don't know.
have no
2 months
concept
ago?
of time.
When was the last
Okay.
arraignment or a thought of someone
Do you
getting-
suffer from time blindness?
Well, I used to understand time, and now I don't anymore. And perhaps that's because of the alien situation.
I like that you're finally
Oh,
understanding microphones. It's pretty good.
He's getting
You're
there.
getting there.
He's getting
I
there.
like it. I'm a big fan.
I turned to it. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
We're proud of you.
I'm-
We're proud of you.
I'm making steps. I'm getting better.
Oh, that's what we watch. We watch wrestling on Mondays now.
Yeah.
Here's the
Or
thing.
Wednesdays.
While I'm, early on,
We need some
and I'm
tequila for
conscious
this.
of this,
Uh-huh.
it'll work. And then later, as this progresses, it'll get worse. I'll be looking over here and
He's gonna try talking to my microphone here in a little
Yeah,
bit.
I know, right? Who is more likely, an alien, Musk, or Zuckerberg?
Can I choose both
I don't understand. Like,
Like-
more likely?
to be an alien?
Oh,
Which one is more
if you had
likely
to
to be
pick
an alien?
one, if they said one of these guys is an alien,
Musk is too damn smart. Like Zuckerberg just ripped a bunch of shit off.
yeah, but
But
he's also like he doesn't understand society and people.
That's because the super rich. Why would anybody that doesn't have to be in society or people know anything about people or society?
But, I mean,
society.
But he was like that before he was rich
Guy's just always. Well, he's probably got
because he's trying to figure out humanity
He's probably got a touch. He's a little. He's got,
on the spectrum.
yeah.
yeah. I gotta say Musk if I'm having to pick between those
We
two.
got no hat. He's serious now.
This is-
No hat. Henson's on on the call.
He's all business.
I actually rarely wear a hat. I took it off because it was interfering with my
I got you.
headphones.
Okay.
I think Musk is an anti-C. I don't know what that means.
Antichrist.
Oh, okay. I was like, you can say it.
Or anti see you next Tuesday. One of the two.
I'm anti. See you next Tuesday as well. Hate him.
Musk was bald. Now he's not alien, but he's also rich, so you can fix that with money.
Yeah. Money's pretty cool.
It's just,
Have you tried
I mean, Magic Johnson cured AIDS with money,
yeah.
so
Just had to leave the country with it. Didn't really, Yeah,
What?
we're not going any further.
All right,
than
we
that.
went from bad movie to what?
You're gonna see
wrestling.
what comes out there in a second.
yeah. No, this is for
at full speed.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
speaking of whiskey. Thank you for all the floppers.
Yeah. You can't say Christ on Facebook. You get banned.
What?
That's what. I know. It's a chance, I guess.
Huh? That's crazy.
All right,
I've been banned for worse.
I don't believe that.
been banned for lighter.
Oh, we've been banned from TikTok a few times.
Well, it's because we did the segment Rapid Dave hates. So every time you say hate and you followed up with some type of
Like he said, he hates traffic, and we got banned.
yeah. Well, I also said I hated that I didn't like people who drive in the left lane in Honda Passport minivans or Toyota Siennas,
Very specific.
20 miles under the speed limit with their left turn signal on. I hate those people.
Coincidentally, that's also his kink. There's not a lot of videos out there with it, but when he finds it, it really gets him.
I got in trouble for quoting Joe Dirt, the stab, talking to my friend all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
It's the wrong tone.
So I just typed that out, that little sequence there, and
Yeah.
I got in trouble for that.
You should use the
Because
GIF
it
next
was
time because the
threatening.
the GIF has it all in there, and the GIF they'll let them play that all the time.
So, Lee Knox testing this. Christ.
Oh.
So let's do it. Let's get into it because this is what we're here for. We're here to talk aliens. We're going to get into the congressional hearing and what we heard or didn't hear from there,
Mhm.
and all things the government, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? But hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, put your hands together, get those quarters, pennies, nickels, dimes together, and throw them up on the stage for one Mr. Lee Knox.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
How you
Nothing
doing?
much. One quick thing. Johnny Hardwick, he played Dale Gribble on King of the Hill. So that's what you're
Yes.
thinking of.
Hey, Dale Gribble. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that show.
Such a great
I
show.
only say it because I used to live in Richardson, Texas, which King of the Hill was based on, and I tried to be my neighborhood Dale Gribble for like all the time I lived there.
just always out in the front drinking a beer, smoking a cig.
Build a shaky tower in the background because
Oh,
of
I-
guidelines. You don't need a permit from the government.
My aviators, I was just digging a hole, stuff like that.
Jesus. All right. So what are we talking about? Aliens or something?
Something like that.
All right,
Like, but how you been doing, Lee, by the way? Doing good?
Great. Fishing a lot. It's 80 degrees or something here, so kind of a heat wave in North Carolina.
Oh,
it's like a-
sounds great.
Nice early winter day for y'all.
We're in a cold front right now, and it's like 97. So we got that
what
going.
I am loving, I'm a huge Rangers fan, and it's great seeing like first pitch and like it's like 78 degrees here in the ballpark. It's like, oh,
Yes.
that
it's-
beats those days when it was 104 and you have people passing out the game.
Yeah. But I mean, you're not a real fan unless you've passed out at a game before, though, right? Like,
Oh yeah. Mhm. Or you like somebody text, "Hey, you gotta meet me in medical." I'm like, Jesus. All right.
Jeez. All right, all right. The nice thing about you is because you don't live here in Texas, you can actually watch the Rangers, as opposed to everybody here in Texas that can't watch them.
Yeah. Weirdly, I'm blacked out. I'm in North Carolina. I'm blacked out from the Washington Nationals.
You're
That
like,
is the
okay,
local team. I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm closer to the
that's
Braves, but whatever.
right.
So yeah, I
Oh,
watch every Rangers game.
there we go. Oh, Busby's already coming in. If you believe that bacteria from Mars landed on Earth and led to life, technically we are all Martians. That's coming from Busby. So
I mean, if we're getting into like the Martian bacteria thing and like the bacteria we find in Antarctica on ancient asteroids, I think it's all coming from the same place. Whether I don't think it was from there to here, I think whatever 14.1 billion years ago, the same meteor hit here, that system hit there. I bet you if we go even further out, if we start looking at the moons of different planets, we're going to find stuff like that as well. So it's too cold to go out there.
there we go. So let's get into it. We had a congressional hearing. How long ago was this? I know you know.
This July 26th.
July 26th. So not even a month ago. What did we learn anything at that?
We learned a few things. So this is a culmination of years and years of soft disclosure, and let me back up. There's a radio program called Coast to Coast AM. It's been around since 1978.
Coast to coast is great.
Oh, it's great. They play in the middle of the night, play a lot of conspiracy, Bigfoot, alien, Skinwalker Ranch, that kind of stuff. And they always have the people like, oh, I work for the government, I work for Area 51, I've seen aliens, blah, blah. And then I take that with a grain of salt because I'm like, all right, whatever, say it under oath. And this guy, David Grush, he's a whistleblower. He went on News Nation to talk about this. And then I'm like, whatever, say it under oath. And I'll be damned. He went and said it under oath with two other Navy pilots. Like, this is huge.
It is, but like David, he's said himself, he hasn't seen anything. He's just telling you what other people have told him. And then one of the Navy pilots also hasn't seen anything with his own eyes. He's seen stuff on radars.
Yeah,
but
we got the wrong guys coming in and giving testimony.
But then you have the one guy from the Tic Tac video that he's seen them. He's seen the alien before, or the ship, the spaceship, right?
So let's give like a definition of variables or definition of terms for like the congressional hearing. There was David Grush, who's whistleblower we talked about, combat officer, National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, whatever, and then Ryan Graves, who's a retired F-18 fighter pilot, and he now is with ASA, which is Americans for Safe Aerospace.
Okay.
And he had two different scenarios that he talked about during the hearing. One of them that he heard a report on as being with ASA. Another one from Virginia Beach that he actually saw. So he described the football field rectangle that came to Vandenberg Air Force Base, now Space Force Base in California, where it was a 100-yard long red rectangle that hovered next to the Air Force Base and then went back into the ocean. That was what he talked about he hadn't seen, but he did see the red cubes inside of the clear spheres that he saw at Virginia Beach with F-18 Hornet fighters in formation.
Right. So, but speaking of those cubes that he saw, are those not the same cubes that we have to jam radars that are man-made? Similar?
See, that's a great question. It's the only thing that like gave me pause because it looks like some radar jam or something like that. But then he starts describing the movements that they were doing, and what did he say? Something where it was like, it would have been the equivalent of 25 Gs in like 2 seconds, just going from 80,000 feet to 6,000 feet. And that was whenever at Virginia Beach, the Air Force has sent over a bulletin to all the pilots saying that there's a risk of a midair collision because of how fast and erratic these things are
Right.
going, stopping within the sky.
So Marty's in here with some hot sports opinions saying David Grush is a paid actor.
If he's a paid actor, then I mean, I'm very interested to see like what he has to gain, because right now he's just losing everything. Like everybody that comes out and talks about this, nobody really gains anything. If this guy starts coming out with like a $2 million like podcast deal or something, and hey, buy my book on the New York bestseller, then I'll
Yeah.
entertain
Yeah,
that.
it's coming.
I mean,
So-
everyone wants these days. So
Yeah, and so there's that, but then in the same breath, there's also this character assassination that's going on after David Grudge, because he is a combat veteran. He was in, I believe, Enduring Freedom, and then he went into just military, sitting in a desk, geospatial center or agency, National Reconnaissance Office. They came out and said last week that he went to an inpatient psychiatric facility 5 years ago, and for that to come out now and not before or after his News Nation or something like that leads me to believe somebody is trying to discredit him.
Right.
So trying to discredit some guy you want to be the fall guy, that's, I don't know, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
So what did we learn from this though? Like, cause like I watched it today. I went through and I watched it all today. And a lot of what I heard was, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. I could tell you later. I can't talk about that.
Yeah, so David Grush, so he went before, this is a subcommittee under the Congressional Oversight Committee. I believe it is a subcommittee on national security, the border, and something else. They gave it a long new name now. But anyways, yes, so that is where whistleblowers go for. They go to that committee to say, hey, I'm a whistleblower because of X, Y, or Z. And because he's a whistleblower with security clearance, still works at the NRO, that he could only say certain things in a SCIF, which is, I had to write this down, sensitive and compartmented information facility. Basically a place they can make sure can't be bugged.
You've been in a skiff before?
Mhm.
How was it?
It's
Can you
old.
talk about that?
Yeah, it's old equipment, and I did it for a proposal for a government contract.
Okay.
It's not anything special. It's just closed off.
Oh, okay.
It's just sealed, right? Yeah. Yeah.
They
That's
have
what
old,
that's what he's talking
old equipment.
So it's
Okay.
like I take a lot of people at their word. He was saying things that were very much like showing, like if you went 300 years ago and showed a Native American a Tesla or something, it's going to blow their minds. Like the stuff that he was talking about with, like, he has knowledge of non-human beings that have been captured, of the U.S. government trying to clone technology. Yeah, the non-human biologics. Where
Yeah,
he
that's
says, like,
what I'm saying.
yes. And he's like, well, I can't get into specifics unless we go before SCIF.
Right.
So,
But then it's also, but when he's talking about that, he's not talking about how he's seen it.
correct.
He's talking about how he knows somebody
Mhm.
who's seen it. And then Mooney's in here saying, I believe it's all for show. I'm not doubting aliens, but they are allowing this to happen. In my opinion, if they didn't want us to know, they wouldn't allow this to happen.
Well, that's all for.
Which,
And yeah,
what's-
I mean,
I concur.
so there's a David Grush on one side, and then there's the Ryan Graves and David Fravor on the other side. And David Fravor was the naval commander over the F-18 squadrons out of the USS Nimitz next to the USS Theodore Roosevelt, and he was the one who was there for the Tic Tac video, which,
right.
oh my God, hearing a bunch of boomers on Congress not be able to say the word Tic Tac, and they kept on saying TikTok.
He kept saying TikTok.
Yeah,
And it's
and I was
they
like,
said
what
the
are you
first couple times,
talking?
and I was like, I wrote down. I was like,
folks are now.
TikTok video. I got to look this up. What's the TikTok video?
See, told you.
But
That's where all the old
they
people
were just
are now.
saying
All the
it wrong.
olds.
The olds are on TikTok.
Yeah, you either a 12-year-old girl or you're a 40-year-old man. There's no in between.
Great combination.
You know what I mean? It's a terrible combo. Like I don't know why they're not checking IDs at the door. Gonna get you in trouble.
But going back to like they're allowing this to happen. We were talking earlier? What were you talking about? Like you believe they're allowing this to happen, but why?
I mean,
Into the microphone, if you don't mind.
look, assuming.
Listen, here's the deal.
Here's the deal. No, you have to make assumptions. I mean, you can't. Anything we say is an assumption.
Right.
Anything else?
No. I mean, well, look. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, anything I say is going to be some crazy opinion that.
We're talking about aliens.
That's why we brought you here. I don't want a rational opinion from you. Or like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get in trouble. No.
I'm not worried about getting in trouble.
Bring the
with
cat or
anything.
something. I don't know.
With anything. No. I'm just saying.
The cat's usually got more bang up material.
What are they?
I mean, just firing off one-liners like crazy.
Do we need to put a cat filter on you? Then you'll open up a little bit.
Yeah, if you put one of those, put one of those, it would be better. No, I don't have anything shocking other than to say
He needs a couple more drinks.
it's well, yeah,
You may get the
it's
whiskey.
already low.
Get the whiskey.
So
You want any more of these? You want some whiskey?
yeah, I'll do another one of those.
Okay.
I think things like this come out, and it is usually distractionary.
Oh, of
And
course.
and what I was saying earlier is that we've run out of like
This is why he's treading lightly.
somewhat
normalized.
I love watching him tap dance right now.
what am I tap dancing?
You're tap dancing.
You're a lot more talkative when the cameras were on. That's
Right,
all I'm
because that
saying.
thing's not on, right?
When
God.
have I ever just not
Just
said
go on, yeah.
exactly what I thought?
Other than right now.
I'm cranking up the volume because the computer's compressing this. So
Well, I'm saying I don't have a specific thing that I think they're covering up at this moment. It's just clear to me that this information comes out.
every time blow is said,
Yeah,
Or
like
they find
Dave
blow.
Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. Michael Jackson. Jerks off a kid every time. Every time there's something bad in the world going on. Like.
wow, I didn't think it was going to go there. That was what the hell are we talking about?
Well, I'm saying,
I'm just saying.
they've got tactics, and this is just one of them. And I agree with Mooney that absolutely, like, yeah, no, they if they didn't want it to be talked about, it wouldn't be talked about.
they
It
kept us in
wouldn't
the
have
dark
been.
for so long.
Yeah, I mean, it just wouldn't be talked about.
Even Busby's going, Christ.
Hey, you can't say that on here.
You can't say that.
You're going to get banned for that.
Yeah, you get banned.
Marty says, my opinion is 90% of UFOs are government distraction. The other 10 is peeps on drugs.
And so there's a thing like the government distraction where it's Brad Hawley just had a comment up about the Arthur C. Clarke talking about advanced technology being indistinguishable from magic. Hearing David Fravor the U.S. Navy commander, talk about what he saw, and he's a Top Gun pilot. He taught at Top Gun. He was trained at Top Gun. He knows planes, and just hearing him talk about the pure, like, just throwing physics away, how these objects were moving, going from 80,000 to 6,000, going into the ocean on a smooth day, and he was like, you could see no seams, no windows, no propulsion, anything.
Right.
And then when it was jamming their radar, and then they lost track of it, and then it came up on radar again 60 miles away 1 minute later.
Right.
So like that is magic, where you see something move 60 miles in 1 minute.
But we choose what magic we want to believe anyway.
I mean, I drive 60 miles in a minute. Wait, is that a minute? Or the other way around? Maybe a mile a minute and 60 minutes.
miles an hour. Yeah. It's not quite the same. But you're like,
Well,
how do
mine is.
they know what radar is? Well, if these are aliens that built these devices that can go from where they're coming from light years away to here and traveling at these, I'm pretty sure they can figure out how to block a radar.
Little sonar.
They're like, oh no, radar, my weakness. It's their kryptonite.
I'm just saying, how do they know what radar is?
They probably use some sort of like a radar to do their traveling, right?
Oh man, just got a guy out the window, just kind of with a one eye
they're not using radio waves to do travel.
Why not?
That's what radar is.
I mean, we're thinking of everything using our 5 senses, and we don't know of non-human biologics, whatever ETs, what senses they have, and if they actually see the air, and they can see the radar waves, see the radio waves. It's as simple as you or me, just like, shielding ourselves from the wind or something like that.
But here we're the same country that shot a balloon and missed the first time, by the way. So our assessment of advanced technology may be behind.
Everybody got only like Myrtle Beach, and everybody's like, "What is that?"
It flew over us in North Carolina. Yeah,
it went across the entire country. That's the other thing. Like, so I watched the trial today, and then it takes me down this whole rabbit hole of all this other stuff, and it seems like we have a lot of problems with balloons, like
as people,
as a country.
What's your problem?
Like everyone's just sneaking balloons in that are all spy balloons, and we can't handle a balloon.
The other balloons that people sneak around are filled with things.
Yeah, and those are up here.
Yeah.
These kind of things are why it's so impossible for me to believe extreme conspiracy theories, because these incompetent bastards can't.
Jesus,
you could say that.
What do I still get background?
Right?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Right?
You're great. Yeah. You say whatever you want to.
Oh, you don't do. No, we don't do that. But that's.
He already talks about Michael Jackson diddling kids.
You're worried? I wasn't on top. I wasn't on board with that either.
I was quoting Dave Chappelle.
I was quoting.
If you're quoting somebody, you can say anything.
Oh, Jesus.
And however you want to,
That's
right?
the rules.
All right. I got you. Did you finish there, or you were still kind of?
No, you guys interrupted. I have no idea what I was saying.
I'm so terrible. I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was saying. I had a moment, and I was like, "Boy, I lost it." Quickly.
Something about balloons. Oh, we got to Lizzie Redeem. Take a drink.
It was something about balloons, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying,
I can't believe conspiracy theories.
It's hard to believe
people attack us with balloons.
complex conspiracy theories when we are incapable of even managing simple things like, it's so difficult to carry on something on that extreme of a level. And we can't shoot down a balloon. It was
a stormtrooper that shot at it, though.
Okay.
Not a clone trooper, but the stormtrooper.
And I just want, for the record, I'm not dismissing aliens. I'm on board. I think it's more than likely there is something else. But in terms of what these guys saw, who knows? Some of it's probably they saw with their own eyes. I tend to believe that.
Okay. Brad said, as crazy as Tom DeLonge sounds, I thought that his overall allegations seemed believable. The government is slowly introducing more and more UFO/UAP dialogue in order to get the public used to it, so that some of us aren't completely caught off guard whenever they do disclose something big.
Yes, I 100%. And it's interesting that this subcommittee meeting was almost like a page 7 story, when I thought it was huge, where it was on the record for the first time, pilots saying, hey, this happened. David Grush, whether they believe him or not, him going under oath saying, this is what I know. And Tom DeLonge, for anyone who doesn't know, with To the Stars agency, had Lou Elizondo. Lou Elizondo was the first David Grush, if I had to call him anything. So Harry Reid, who was a senator out of Nevada, Nevada Area 51. There's a billionaire there, Richard Bigelow, I think his last name is. I know his last name is Bigelow.
Yeah.
The guy who bought Skinwalker Ranch.
He goes by Deuce.
It's Deuce. He made all of his money in prostitution.
Yeah, that's billionaire. You just got to do, hey, a million fat chicks, $1 million each. You're good.
Wow, size inclusive. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you get paid more.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bigelow, who bought Skinwalker Ranch, went to senator. When you're rich, you can do this. Says, hey, we need to research this. And then Harry Reid put aside $22 million to form ATIP, which was just to look into UFOs and examine government reports, compile video footage, whatever. Lou Elizondo ran it, and then he got disillusioned with government, left. He ended up leaking a bunch of videos. So a lot of the videos that you saw, like in 2017 and prior to that in 2012 as well, those were from Lou Elizondo. And the defense department ended up saying, like, nope, Lou Elizondo never worked here. He is an imposter. Don't know what you're talking about. Until NBC News asked Senator Harry Reid, who funded ATIP. Harry Reid sent over a letter that says, yes, Lou Elizondo ran ATIP from this year to this year. So they had to go straight to a senator. Nobody believed him until Harry Reid, God rest his soul, he was very much about disclosure. And then Lou Elizondo went to the STARS agency with Tom DeLonge, who found out he was in a band. I know him from the UFO side, not from the music side, so that was fun.
I think it's like Blink 187 or something like that.
No,
or...
it's Blink 182. I heard.
Oh, okay.
No, this is totally real. I did not know that.
And Angels and Aliens.
Oh, really? You had no idea?
No idea. I didn't listen to the radio really growing up, and I listen to hardcore punk and stuff like that now. So yeah, had totally missed me. So it was funny. People like getting really into Tom DeLonge. I'm like, yeah, from To the Stars Agency. Listen to his podcast. And then, yeah, so they were compiling all these stories. And then now the government still hasn't done anything, because what Lou Elizondo wanted is there has to be some kind of database. So Ryan Graves and David Fravor, the pilots, they were pushing that for not just military, but also commercial pilots who are running into this. That's a big problem. And thankfully, the National Defense Authorization Act, just after that subcommittee meeting, they wrote a rider to add on a database after that. So if it passes, God knows Congress, they're probably never going to pass it. But right now, they're trying to make a database. So culmination of everything Lou Elizondo did from 2004 onward to now, Americans for Safe Aerospace with Ryan Graves, like they put up or shut up right now. They put some money into national defense, and they're trying to make a reporting tool.
Okay. So let me ask you this, because I'm watching the congressional hearing, and it's all about getting transparency, right?
That's Thor Ragnarok. What are you talking about?
Not now. Like, what are you talking about? But they're talking about how this is all for transparency. But yet everything that they're talking about, they have to talk about behind closed doors. You can't talk about it here. And then I thought you had the funny line from one of the senators or congressmen or whatever they are.
I was going to say police academy.
That is a good movie. Who talked about the Pentagon, and we have to remind the Pentagon who they work for. You know, the Pentagon works for the people, and us congressmen, we got to make sure we remind them who they work for.
Come on, you know who that is, Mike. Come on.
Lou Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno, yes. But
I was going to say it if you didn't. Yeah.
But what was this hearing really about, though? Like, honestly, because
wieners,
we didn't find anything out.
Well, I think for the first time it is actually on the record under oath, and they said here, or at least the pilot said, here are the deficiencies. David Grush, yes, he said a bunch of very out there things from where we are now with their understanding, but I think the major takeaway was they identified what the deficits were. I mean, David Grush also hit them right in the money, especially with the members of the subcommittee and some of their political leanings and campaign promises, where he said, yes, the Pentagon is moving money into these secret programs, and it was like their eyes lit up. And Congressman Burchett from Tennessee, he's the one who's like, we have to remind them who they work for.
Yeah.
And there are several members in this committee in the field of Congress that you don't want to make angry. He's one of them. There are the makeup of this Congress, so we'll say it was very, I don't know. It made me feel good because it was extremes from both sides of the aisle coming together. For subcommittee members, you don't have to go to these meetings. If you don't want to be there on the subcommittee, you don't have to go. And the
Right.
people that showed up were from all across the political gamut. And I mean, Moskowitz and Luna, Matt Gaetz were all coming together. Those are very different people. Bruschetta. Sorry. But yeah, and for the fact that right afterwards, Moskowitz and Burchett and Garcia put in this rider into the NDAA. So
So my
they're
top 2 takeaways from this was, one, you had the Moskowitz family in it, which just made me think of Fievel.
What's that? It sounds made up.
No, there's the dude's name is Moskowitz, and that's who Fievel is from American Tail. You ever see that movie?
Coincidence?
Blue? I'm just saying. And then you had Prison Mike in there as well.
Jamie Raskin.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of Jamie Raskin? I mean, I will say Jamie Raskin, he is going through chemotherapy again for recurrent.
Way to go. Way to go, Alan.
No.
Way to go, Alan.
But he's in very high spirits about it, and he loves the jokes. He's a really personable congressman, so he would find this to be a very funny joke and probably one that he's heard several times. Because him in the nicest suit you can ask for, and then just
a blue durag,
the head wrap. Oh, it's great. And I was very glad he's there because, I mean, it's somebody going through chemo, and he's like, I'm not going to miss a subcommittee meeting. I'm going to be there.
Yeah. And of course, you had AOC who had to show up and make sure she was shown, and had to throw.
Have you ever listened to her
questions
talk? God, she's dumb as a sack of hammers. Like the shit that she says is like, God Almighty. Like
some of the people there that you realize showed up just to be like, it was her questions, which like, we're here to protect the workers and whatever. What can you tell us? And then there was another congresswoman from, unfortunately, North Carolina, Virginia Fox. She asked a question and then didn't let them answer and started ranting about the Chinese balloon until her time
really
ran
old
out.
lady? Is that really old lady? This lady looked like she was 90.
Oh, she started talking about the balloon. She's like, and the Chinese communist balloon. And we're like, and then her time ran out and it went to someone else. She didn't let anybody talk.
Yeah, she cracked me up because he started saying, she's like, actually the quote is, and like cuts him off and then talks for the rest of the time, and then she was done. And then you had
sounds about right.
The other one who the first question she asked him was like, have you had any threats against your life or anything since you've come out about this? And he was like, yeah, I have. I want it on the record that these men are out here risking their lives to bring this information out to us.
And that's Congresswoman Luna, and she's one of the reasons why this came about, because it's kind of a funny story. She's from Florida. There are a lot of people from Florida on this committee, and they're very Florida people. And if you remember years ago, there was footage of UFOs outside of Jacksonville that pilots captured, and they're like, whoa, look at that. And they like got it on motion capture, and it was going incredibly fast. So her and Congressman Matt Gaetz walked to that Air Force base and walked through the gates and like demanded to see everything. And they're like, what are you doing? You just showed up here. And that's what kind of spearheaded all of this, is them getting turned away from an Air Force base.
You know, we've been trying to decide whether to put my grandfather in hospice or have him run for Senate, actually.
I mean, either one.
And where are you going? Like, which way you guys landing?
I mean, it could go either way. I mean,
we'll see how the votes go.
The money's better in Congress.
Yeah. One of them, the money's going out. The other way, the money's coming in. I mean, you know, in public service, man. Everyone's wealth.
Oh yeah, such public service
gone up, shot up quite a bit. You know, what
God bless them for their service.
Yeah,
you know, they're just.
So you're saying there's no money into going into hospice?
No,
it seems like just a smarter decision to just have him run for Congress.
Daniel Scott's in the house. What's up, Daniel? He said, hey guys, the truth is out there. Marty, seriously, how do you actually know that it was a Chinese balloon?
Said made in China.
Question. It's just what they told us. Yeah. Where did the balloon even go to after it shot down? I remember I saw the video of it getting shot down off Myrtle. Well, where'd it go?
Bunch of hillbillies.
We just kind of stopped talking about it.
It's
it's in the back of an old
they-
'87 Chevy.
they fixed the glitch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what they fixed the glitch. We don't need to anymore. Peter Zian said something about the Chinese spy balloon that I had never heard before. U.S. intelligence was allegedly able to use their signal to better understand Chinese encryption, so it actually backfired on them in a big way.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me considering a lot of
I can't
lot of
believe they put
Chinese
made in
spyware
China right
works
on the
there.
side of the road.
I'm just
told you
blown
that's
away
what
by
they
like
did.
the tech. We're talking technology,
And stuff.
and the big thing of technology is a big mylar balloon. Like that's
And I mean
that's what
that
we're
week
using.
there were
That's all it
4 of
takes.
them. Remember, one got shot down, and then there was one in Alaska that went down. Never remembered hearing about what happened to the other 2.
They might still be out there. Whiskey coming in with those biddies again. Whiskey,
Thanks, whiskey.
chill out, buddy.
Yeah, then
Boner
we're gonna
even
have
said,
somebody.
she goes, "Can you imagine going into Food Line and asking for them to air that thing up?" Yeah.
In this economy, helium.
You don't know if you know this or not. We're having a helium shortage.
We've been having one.
Yeah,
All these morons and these
because they
balloons.
all took it in China.
And once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
There's no more party balloons, people.
Yeah. You better buy all those little canisters up at Target all you can, or Walmart, or wherever the hell else you get that. Party City. I'm sorry. Yeah, Party City too.
You can buy them at like Walmart, and
Yeah.
Target, and that too.
I don't support Target.
Oh, you stopped supporting Target? Okay. What's up, Chris?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
What do you got against Target?
I'll tell you.
What'd they do?
All kinds of shit.
I just don't pay attention to these idiotic corporation stances. Like, I don't give a damn what they're. I just don't care.
What they're pushing on you.
I don't care. I just don't even listen. Like, I don't
That's
care
why you
what.
got to
Target's
move to
doing.
the Carolina woods.
Yeah, there you
Just
go.
move to the middle of the
don't care.
woods. It's great.
I don't even have to move to the woods. I just ignore them. It's the same thing.
I mean, hearing you talk earlier, you live like out in like the country.
Yeah, you're in the country.
You
right?
use AOL for your internet, right?
I miss
Um,
that sound so much.
oh man,
If every time I got on my computer it made that noise, I think I'd be happier.
you could probably download that. We could probably make that
Yeah.
happen.
Make that
Every time I
happen.
turn on the power button, it just meow, 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 meow.
For some reason, your pants get all excited.
Yeah,
You're like,
I don't even
know,
need
man.
to. I don't need to hear the
Netscape.
"you've got mail" thing, but yeah, that's
It's a-
man, that's Gabe.
You got the ducks in the house. What's up?
Oh God, Ray's in the chat. All right.
Yeah.
Netscape.
And he also said that the decision to release those balloons was not approved by the top levels of Chinese CP.
Yeah, neither was
So
COVID.
that dude might be in the trunk of a car somewhere by now.
Oh, they probably got hit by a firing squad the next
The
morning.
Chinese are going to deny. Like, I don't care what happens. They're denying it.
It's not
anyway.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah, they just deny everything.
They're like
They're
Shaggy.
never going to take.
They're like, Shaggy, it wasn't me.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
It
That's
wasn't me.
that is the Chinese guy. That's their theme song.
yeah. Like when COVID fucking broke out. It was like,
And
nah,
that song by
this is not
Blink
us.
187.
No, Shaggy.
No, and I know Shaggy because saw the Vice video about
Yeah.
his one-hit wonder. I didn't know he was U.S. Marine.
Shaggy?
Who, the guy from
Yeah,
Blink
Shaggy.
187? The very
Huh.
small trunk of a very, very small car.
That explodes as soon as they
Why did
trunk
Jeff
him.
Goldblum agree to this role?
Why not? I thought he was good in this movie.
It's the dumbest movie on earth.
No, we've seen dumber.
Now I feel like I have to guess what Jeff Goldblum movie you're watching.
Well, it's not.
Buckaroo Banzai Across the Fifth Dimension.
He's not the primary star. He's
It's a big
just
character.
just a character in this movie.
Oh, thank God, that was like the
Not
dead
Ray,
period
it's
of his
Swain.
career.
It's reasonably recent, so it's
Oh.
not old.
23.
Lee, it's Swain in the chat, not Ray.
All right, and I do know Sum 41 because I saw them play in the waiting room of Virgin Records while I waited to get Tony Hawk's autobiography autographed in New York, like a month before 9/11.
Oh,
Go-
Jesus. Way back.
Go. You look like you have a question.
I have so many questions. How did that come about?
Who doesn't
Somebody in
like
the
Tony
chat
Hawk?
said Sum 43, and I was like, "What? No, I actually know Sum 41. They're
Yeah,
from
just
Canada."
watch the chat, bro.
I didn't see
And,
this.
yeah.
Some 40
Oh, because it's on Twitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that
I thought I
comment.
sent you the. I didn't see
Oh
that.
yeah, sorry, I'm on that. On that
Since
Twitch
we're
chat.
talking about space, did you know that the movie Thor actually tells us how heavy Thor's hammer is?
How heavy is it?
Wait, is that for real? Did they actually break it down into weight?
Professor Leonard says equal to 300 million herd of elephants.
That
So how many elephants are in a herd?
That seems very Nordic.
Uh,
I don't know, 10? We keep on killing them, so they can't get into that many
I was gonna say
that
12.
many big herds.
13.
Elephants are mammoths. Like,
They cloned some.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought you had more going with that, then you just kind of tailed off.
Keeps like stopping.
No,
mid-sentence.
I mean-
I don't know if he's having a stroke. I don't know who's
and
going.
there's only
hold on.
You're gonna have
there's only one of the megafauna left, and that's the moose. And
Or
it's
run for
crazy. We're
Senate.
trying to bring back the woolly mammoth.
You're reminding me of that. So after the congressional hearing, words are tough.
Oh.
There was that one congressman who,
Like
he started talking, and then he just stopped.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's what you're reminding me of.
Yeah,
Except for you do it like every
That's
5
because they're all
minutes.
1,000 years old, dude.
That dude was old.
like Jesus Christ. He's been he's the minor or minority whip or something like that. Whatever the hell. He's
Oh,
out
he's
of
a whip.
Kentucky. Yeah, he's a fucking whip.
Yeah.
And so it's
So
like
yeah, probably Glenn
God.
Grothman, who is one of the oldest members there. Yeah,
Yeah.
from Kentucky.
Yeah, it's
It's
McConnell.
related to Rapid Dave.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Yeah.
That's Senate. Yeah.
old turkey neck.
Have any of you ever seen an anomalous object?
I thought the question would be anybody seen a grown man naked before?
A what object? Can you spell the word, please?
ANOMALOUS.
So yeah, it's like nowadays there's UFOs and USOs, which unidentified submerged objects, because we're seeing objects go into the ocean, out of the ocean. There was one outside of an airport in Puerto Rico that was a really good video. So now to catch all that, they just call it UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomenon. So it's just
I googled
those
it. It's
kinda
like a bunch of
crafts.
wieners.
You Googled the wrong thing. You Googled the has anyone ever seen a grown man naked? That's why you got the wieners on there. But that's also one of the theories with aliens is that they live underwater. Right?
I mean, and yeah, there's the sightings out of the Puerto Rico airport where it was where you can see it, the video, it's no propulsion when it goes in and out of the water. There's no propulsion
Right.
when it comes out, no white water afterwards. And then Lake Baikal in Russia, which is the deepest freshwater lake in the world, which goes, I don't know, 5 miles deep. It's really friggin' deep. And there are so many sightings there. And there are scientists that have, gone to the bottom of it because they're still trying to find the bottom. And things like they're in their submersible, and then they get surrounded by a bright white light 5 miles down in a lake. Like, it's terrifying.
That would freak me out.
Yeah.
5 miles underwater, and all of a sudden you're surrounded by a bright white light.
I mean, you're dead at that point, so
Yeah, then I'm like, oh, that's the light everyone
worry
talks
about
about.
that, right?
I shouldn't have.
Oh,
I
What are you
shouldn't have
clicking on over
taken.
there? Go ahead.
I shouldn't have taken the Titanic submersible in Russia. All right, got it.
yeah, that's not going to work out for you. Excuse me. So Brad's got a question for you, Lee.
And I talked to
After
Brad about
boarding the
this.
plane with Dr. Steve Greer, coincidence, I checked out his latest interview on the Sean Ryan show. How full of shit do you think it is? Because spent 2 hours making some unbelievable bold claims.
So Stephen Greer, for most people, I think, are going to be kind of unaware of him.
I was
Where
going to
he
ask. That was my
talks
first
about-
question. Who is that?
So Stephen Greer is a ufologist or ufologist if you're from Europe. What does he have his degree in? He has a degree in something outside of ufology. He has a real degree. And but he got into compiling all of the UFO information, the sightings, and then he gets more into the disclosure aspect and what the governments are hiding.
Right.
And he takes a left-hand turn at some point where he says that it is all about, I mean, maybe it's believable. It seems so out there. It's hard for me to believe that it's because alien technology is powered by a version of free energy. And if we were to reverse engineer that and we have free energy, that it would just like destroy capitalism. And he's saying that's why the world governments are keeping it secret, because there is this free energy they know about and they're keeping from us. So his conclusion is that all of this cover up is to keep that from us so that they can keep taking our money. I mean, in a narrative sense, it seems very plausible, not plausible, believable. But I mean, it's also that there would be a lot. Yeah, like there would be. We're talking about whistleblowers. There have been a lot of whistleblowers he's helped bring forward as well. It's just none of them corroborating to the free energy aspect. He's brought them up to say, yes, I was a pilot. Yes, I saw this. I worked in this program. I know about this. But as far as the nuts and bolts of here is what the free energy cold fusion is, not out there yet.
Now, is this also in reference to the, what is it from? Is it Bob Lazard with the, was it Element
Yes.
151?
Yes, same Balbazar thing. Balbazar, who those of you don't know, former or so he says, and I believe that he was an Area 51 employee and an engineer on these projects, and there was an a new element that was funded these, or not funded, that powered these projects, and he actually took some out of Area 51. And on one hand, the government says, nope, he never worked for Area 51. We don't know who this guy is. He never even went to Berkeley, even though he definitely went to Berkeley. So they say that, but then they also raid his house all of the time. So they are trying to find what he took. So he's Stephen Greer. It's a documentary. I forget the title of it. I believe it's on Netflix, but Bob Lazar is in there as well.
Because he's in a lot of these. Would you say
Yeah.
he's the original whistleblower?
Yes, I would say Bob is definitely the original whistleblower. I mean, because Bob is in his early 70s, I believe now, and he came forward about 30 years ago first. He was also a Coast to Coast AM guy. He first came on to Coast when Art Bell, God rest his soul, he's the original host of Coast to Coast since 1978. And he moved Coast to Coast AM to the middle of his house in the middle of the desert. And so he would say, like, live from an undisclosed location, the American Southwest, because he was so paranoid. And yeah, he had Bob on a bunch of times. So, and
Brett said he did talk about something that sounded legitimate and probably even helpful. Apparently, a law was recently passed giving individuals and corporations 6 months to come forward with evidence of involvement in deep black projects, and that if they did, they'd be given prosecutional immunity.
I need to look into that because I did not know that. So I'm interested in when the clock started for that and when the clock is going to end. If it's going to be like the end of a presidential term and they start to pardon people the night before they leave office.
Right.
So I need to look into that. So thank you, Brad. That's very interesting.
Now here's the other thing that I picked up from the hearing, and let me get your thoughts on this, because I saw a lot on this. Was a lot of people were quoting the New York Times article from 2017 and using that, but hasn't there since then come out a lot that actually that article wasn't true, even like from the writer of the article, saying that they wrote that article to bring out a lot of awareness to the subject, but she didn't actually write about what the main story was about that, which was the government's involvement with Skinwalker Ranch and funding that. Because if she wrote the article about that, and now you're writing an article about werewolves and poltergeists, you're not going to get any credibility towards the alien story.
Skinwalker Ranch sounds so weird.
Yeah, the 2017 New York Times stories, I think because yes, there were a lot of assumptions that took place. I think the main takeaways are the ones that they have the concrete evidence for, which is the gimbal video and the Go Fast video, which is the David Fravor video from the U.S. commander I talked about before, with the Tic Tac video. That's his, because they saw the Tic Tac, went back, and then another F-18s went out there, and that's when they took the actual video of it. So those, I think it was really important, especially in the internet now. If this was a print media back in 1994 and this article came out, nobody would give a shit. But because it had 9 videos attached to it, that's what really took it for me. But yeah, Skinwalker Ranch, it is hard to believe a lot of the stuff out of Skinwalker Ranch, especially the stuff they talk about interdimensional, where there's a break in the sky that they see. Like really crazy stuff. The last podcast in the last series on it, which got started me in on that whole podcast, it's amazing. And they're keeping a lot of that very secretive. In like the show, it's a lot of people that are next door to Skinwalker Ranch, and some of the main research we're not seeing.
And then you also got the story out there that who's the middle guy in the whistleblower?
Bill Cosby.
What's his name again?
Are you talking about Ryan Graves or David
Ryan
Grush?
Graves. Yeah, so
Ryan
like
Graves,
a lot of his bosses were all the guys from Skinwalker Ranch in the government. So you've got that where is everything that he's hearing from these guys from Skinwalker Ranch? Is that
so?
His source is, which believe what you want to about Skinwalker Ranch, but they're talking about werewolves and beaver-like dinosaurs out there and poltergeists and stuff like that. So you got that.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Graves, a lot of the stories he compiles is from the Americans for Safe Aerospace, ASA, which he is one of the founding members of, where they are the, what do you want to call it, like the database for all these stories as well. And then the higher-ups from him that compile these stories, yeah, he's associated with that forever for the insane stories out of Skinwalker Ranch, which I love. I'd love if it's just like somebody's been doing aerosol LSD and just been dosing this entire ranch, because it's wild. Because you have on one hand something very believable, where you see multiple pilots see this craft off Virginia Beach. It moves in ways that are not possible with human technology. People across the country off California, USS Nimitz and the USS Theodore Roosevelt are seeing a different object moving in ways that isn't possible. And then you get towards the end, and yeah, they're seeing giant beaver dinosaurs in the middle of this ranch in Utah. Nevada, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. A couple things we got to catch up on. Brad said, I think the Greer original documentary was called Serious Disclosure.
Yes, that is it. Yes, Serious Disclosure. That is it.
DJ Scott. Greer had a few docs out. New one about the energy aspect just released called The Lost Century.
Yeah, and the David Greer as well, where he talks about how much we've been held back technologically as well. Yeah. Where it's, if we had this technology when it was originally identified, what could we accomplish with that? What could we accomplish if we had infinite free energy? You know, think about the Large Hadron Collider and how much energy it takes to power up and power down. It takes weeks just to power up and power down. If you could do it in, I don't know, half a second, would we have already made a black hole that destroys the world by now? Maybe.
What do you think about the idea that aliens have been here for some time, and their objective for being here is to keep us from killing ourselves, destroying the earth, and beyond?
He's so happy right now.
Maybe
Look,
so.
he's so giddy.
That is 100% my jam. So I absolutely, especially with sightings that go back into the Middle Ages as well, where you see the discussions about bright stars that fall to the sky, then go back up to the sky. A lot of the modern sightings, I'm part of the mindsets in the community where you see this uptick that happened when we harnessed the atom, when we broke the atom, the nuclear bomb. Mm-hmm. You see how close Roswell is to the Trinity site, July 17th, 1945. And you see all of the sightings there around nuclear power plants, nuclear subs, all of these nuclear-ready Air Force bases, Vandenberg Air Force Base, which now Space Force, which holds nuclear warheads, 100-yard craft hovering next to it and then going away. Then, yeah, I think there was something about that, of them trying to send us a message of like, a nuclear war will destroy everything for forever. Like, it's going to take one, you fire one and then a million. There's no reason for it to happen. You know, my wife's grandfather was on the Manhattan Project. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, sorry, not you know, sorry.
Well, I mean, he didn't lead up with, did you know?
Sorry, yeah, no. Like, my
he
wife's
stated
grandfather,
like you wouldn't know that, so it's...
Sorry.
You know,
Sorry.
he was
Continue.
no, it's
My
fine.
bad.
He was on the Manhattan Project, and then pretty much immediately afterwards, he became a severe alcoholic, and it became that way for like the rest of his life until it took him. Because I mean, a lot of those guys. I mean, I think if you've seen Oppenheimer, dramatize a lot of it, but it's that. It's like, oh, we we went a little bit too far, guys, and if they live to see the the 80s in the Cold War, like shit, like I would try to warn us too if I could get a time machine.
Well, I mean, one could say that they've interfered. I mean, what has kept it from happening? Because certainly there's enough idiotic human beings in positions of power that could have launched with access to it. So, what has actually kept that from happening? I mean, it's worth talking about at a minimum. Like, what has
Agreed. And I mean,
what has kept? I mean, think about how long ago, and first of all, just how far ahead we were with the bombs, and that what that did, and the fact that we haven't used anything like that since is actually pretty remarkable. I mean, I think it's more astounding that we haven't used them than
Or someone else.
right, well, I didn't mean humans.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'm more astounded that we haven't than that we have. And so, that's kind of where my speculation leads to. Is there something else at work there that's stopping it from happening?
I mean, and there have been reports at bases of nuclear ready bases where there are so many of these
They get
craft
interfered with,
sightings.
right?
Exactly. Yes, they've been
Yes.
interfered with. They're like, hey, everything just turned off.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
And
a lot of reports of
yeah,
things being stopped while in motion that would stop something like that from happening. There's a lot of reports of that. Probably more of that than there are actual UFOs and of that ilk.
definitely. Yes. So it's just
Like weird, like just completely inexplicable. Everything stopped. Like, yeah.
So Brad said, let's see here. There is a believable aspect to the government needing to hide our most advanced technology. Ben Rich, the former head of Lockheed Skunk Works, commented that when the F-22 was released, it was the most cutting edge plane in the world, and all of our tech inside of it was over 30 years old, meaning that we actually have you won't know about for several decades.
so definitely. And then it's that aspect. And oh my god, what is the name of the US spy plane? The US 571, 751, I forget it. But anyways, when that finally got declassified and you're like, wow, we have this supersonic low orbit plane or jet that is able to go far above what the U-2 planes did. They still operated by physics. And so I think we can understand like operating towards the level of physics if it's 30 years old. I mean, the F-22, if you want to look at the F-35 or something like that,
Brad said
the
Blackbird.
disaster. Blackbird, yes, sorry.
Isn't that also the X-Men's plane? The Blackbird?
Yes.
Okay. SR-71.
SR-71. Thank
Okay.
you. I was like, it was a band as well. Okay, so SR-71. But yeah, I
toured
saw them
with
open up for Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Open.
But yeah, it's that we're 30-year-old tech, but it still operates based on what we know physics does. Even if you see the F-20 or not F-22, the F-35, the vertical takeoffs, vertical landings, that still operates by physics. The tic tac and the cubes within the spheres don't operate by what we know the laws of physics. They destroy everything we know about propulsion. So if we broke the laws of physics 30 years ago, then fuck, maybe Stephen Greer is right.
But then you also, like, as far as like technology, like what is it? The
Vibrator.
It's been around for ages.
since
Secure
ancient,
women's
ancient
fetish.
like stealth helicopters didn't exist until the Bin Laden raid, but we've had them, right? But you
Yeah.
just didn't know about it until the whole Bin Laden thing, right? So,
and then they immediately crashed it and had to blow it up.
oh, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been in a skiff before, so I wasn't privy to that information. Okay.
But yeah, it's like the stealth helicopter. It's like, okay, I can understand how it can exist. I think that is like a stealth helicopter. If you told me that there is a helicopter that can not show up on radar, okay, that probably can exist. If you can tell me a helicopter can approach the speed of light, then I'm like, all right, maybe we need to have an intervention tomorrow because you're
Well, you said
smoking
something
way too
earlier.
much meth.
You said something earlier that we just glossed over, and that is we only know what we can only perceive through our five senses. So if it's something that is beyond that at the quantum level, then if our senses can't, then we don't comprehend it. Like it's impossible to comprehend something beyond our senses because that's the only thing we have to measure what's happening by. So what I'm saying is there's things that are far beyond what our five senses can reach, can comprehend. So,
and you only believe what you know, right? Like until you see it, because I think that's another thing. Like until we see something, a lot of stuff we just don't believe. Like I mean, we split an atom, so you're telling me we can't create a ship that can move without jet propulsion and stuff like that? Like we've created an atomic bomb a long time ago.
yeah. Well, and again, their understanding of quantum physics was it's phenomenal. Like,
right.
And that was in 1945.
Yeah, something like that.
July 16, 1945.
Not all technology is hidden due to greed. Our Keurig is pretty sweet.
Keurig from Green Mountain Company in Stowe, Vermont. I don't know why I know that. But so that the five senses. So that also brings up, it was brought up during the hearing as well, talking about David Gersh, God bless his ability to bring it up, but I know he didn't understand it and I don't understand it as well. But he talks about the holographic principle, which is a portion of string theory in quantum physics, talking about the physics at the event horizon of a black hole, where he talks about the compression of the volume of space and being able to use that energy. And it's way over my head talking about string theory, but also with they talk about the compression of a 3D environment into a 2D environment, which is almost like the movie Event Horizon, talking about going from 3D to 2D, where you can move through two spaces, fold it, and go straight through.
Right.
The holographic principle was talked about in the 1970s as theoretical. And if that can become the practical, then that I can't even think about that. That's insane. How can I perceive of moving in a fourth dimension like it's nothing and not having every part of my being destroyed if they're coming from Alpha Centauri or something like that, or wherever these, we don't see them in low Earth orbit. We only see them when they're here, allegedly.
Yeah, which would tell you there might not be in a three-dimensional five senses body.
Yeah, and we think of everything in carbon-based life form. I always try to talk about this with my wife whenever I'm up late night ranting, where it's like we are a bipedal carbon-based life form. We can't even.
Hey, there's no cursing on this show.
This guy.
It's like, what do you think about a nitrogen-based life form that evolved to a position of hovering because that's just how their atmosphere works? Like, we can't perceive that because it's just antithetical to what. And yes, we see the grays, as bipedal carbon-based life forms, but who knows?
Well,
Yeah. Marty said, just think back to the early 1900s. Medicine and energy was taken over by the rich, and they have been running the world ever since.
I mean, it's been a lot longer in 1900s, but yeah. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
just science.
you look at the oil barons and the steel barons and everything, and the monopolies in the early 1900s before the Glass-Steagall Act and stuff. Yeah, and it's still happening. You think of the amount of billionaires medicine has made, the amount of billionaires energy has made for people that extract value from the work of others. And yeah, with energy, that's the whole Stephen Greer thing. They have a reason. Think of it would be great, every oil and gas billionaire going bankrupt overnight if there is free energy out there. It would destroy society for a while, then we would rebuild.
I would make sense to feign it and do it better than the other guy. Would be a more plausible scenario to me. If you were ahead of the game and you could feign it, in other words, if you could make not free energy, make free energy not free,
Right.
that would be the ideal scenario, which is essentially what they've done anyway. I mean, just in a more rudimentary way, that's what they've been doing, because the only thing that costs anything is the process.
Right.
So it's there. It's free as it is. Like there's
part of the earth.
Right.
And the earth is free.
Right. So, we're arguing the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, if you had the ability to just out of thin air have energy and you could harness that and sell it, you would harness it and sell it. You wouldn't keep it a secret. That's the point I'm trying to make. I would just outsell the other guys. Like, I have more energy than the oil companies now, so you got to buy from me.
If you had sole ownership of that.
Yeah, and I would just house it in a building that was crazy secure, that no one knew.
Like this place.
Like the government?
Yeah, like this Rapid Dave's
this
room
undisclosed location that we're at.
Yeah, undisclosed. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, how would they know how you were making it happen? You're just providing the energy at that point.
Because the government's going to regulate it, right? They have to.
Again, we're talking about the super powerful that are already in the position where you've already bought off. You've already
bought the government?
You've already bought the politicians.
Okay.
You hadn't bought the government, but you bought the politicians, which essentially is the same thing. You just keep paying people off. Yeah, you're gonna. Those greedy bastards are gonna do that every time.
Yeah.
You're gonna take the money. They take the money. They just do. So, yeah, I can't fathom a scenario that you wouldn't fake it
until you make it.
Just
fake it until you make it. So Marty said fossil fuel was a joke. It's not hard to come by. There's as much fossil fuels as water.
Yeah, it's just think of the amount of fossil fuels that are in strategic reserves, like the millions of barrels per day. It's insane that are just going to warehouses, just in case.
But at the same time, I have to try and conserve energy tomorrow.
Again, it's
why my AC's not even turning on tonight.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
well, okay.
Yeah, rubbing salt.
You gotta be
wound.
a jerk, right? Like, you guys don't have grid problems in the out.
It's a good thing we can't bend time-space continuum and slap the shit out of him. For
I wish I could. I wish I could.
Did you see some hand come in his screen?
Just.
Brad said, "Is the holographic reality the kind of stuff that Clee Irwin and quantum gravity research talks about? The E8 lattice, whatever.
In the quasi-crystalline structure of the universe.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was. That was my next question. But Brad beat me to it. So
yeah, the E8 lattice and quasi-crystalline structure of the universe. It's the same thing. It's
You and words.
I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson got a little bit into this whenever he restarted Cosmos. There was one episode where he talks about the structure of the universe. But yes, it's that. It's the crystalline structure and
fuck off.
Being able to how crystalline structures grow and spread off each other. being able to make little shortcuts. And it is so over my head in string theory and physics. My last physics class was, I don't know, 2005. So who knows how.
You're pretty up to date. I took physics back in, I think, 1997. So
What grade?
11th grade.
No, I didn't take it in college. I had to take, I had to take basic physics at college, and yeah, I've forgotten all that.
I recently worked on a proposal for a quantum computer and had to do some studies on quantum computing and therefore quantum physics so that I could comprehend what I needed to write about. So I've recently delved into this world of beyond the atom quite a bit. And so I wouldn't say I'm like some kind of physics genius or anything, but
You know a thing or two.
well,
I'm not saying I'm a big deal, but I'm kind of a big deal. Is that what you're trying to say?
no, it's not what I'm saying.
It sounds like he's trying to upstage us.
It's not.
But
All right,
that's
okay.
cool. Go on. Continue.
What? How hard would I have to try to upstage you?
I mean, not that hard.
No,
the fact that you're actually trying.
Sorry, I was watching TV.
I'm not trying.
Who's trying to upstage you? You can't enunciate
thought
like a
Rapid
single
Dave
word
was
that's on the
Stephen Thought.
screen.
Whatever. Those words were tough
Yeah.
and long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stupid long words.
How many? It starts with
Lattice.
a freaking Q.
Two
Right?
syllables.
Like,
2 syllables got you.
okay.
No, the whole quantum
this whole time.
physics and
Banana.
quantum computing is a world that is hard for me to understand.
Well, I
mean,
think what's fascinating is that, you know, we're as a whole generally. No, that's fine.
What, you okay over there?
What just happened?
Mr. Physics major
My
can't
headphones
handle a
just went
cord.
away. Yeah, it's just it threw me off, dude. My headphones stopped working.
Yeah,
What do
you're
you-
great. You're
what do you
great.
want
Keep
from
They
me?
it
stopped
going.
working?
Yeah, they stopped working, so it threw me off.
I use those every day. Yeah.
Huh, it's funny.
Oh, there they go. Wait,
Speaking of quantum
Faulty-
physics, will Sam
faulty
Beckett ever
equipment.
make it back
Wait,
home?
So you didn't even pull on the cable.
no,
So, but it just stopped working.
Yeah.
So then it's the connection and like the earpiece there.
is it?
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
It's permanent.
Well, I'm saying it's the same thing as this. This is
Yeah.
permanent as well. And I'm sitting there
Yeah.
moving right
That's
now.
Sometimes
not permanent
shorts-
because when you're touching that, it's
Yeah.
going in and out.
Yeah. Well, good luck, man. Pulling for you.
All right. Well, I'll make it. No, so it's the beyond physical. So the fact that everything is run by energy, everything that you know is energy.
I'm not laughing at you. The comment.
You know, we can only hope. We can only hope Sam
They
Beckett.
they
will find
rebooted
it.
I was about
that.
to say they redid it, right?
oh,
Yeah.
they rebooted it? I was about to say, I'm like,
it's like a continuation. Like it
Yeah.
takes place like in the future.
Went 3
with a
episodes
new
and they're
guy.
like, you know what?
It's got to
over.
be Scott Bakula. I can't.
It's not.
I know.
Yeah.
I
It,
know.
it seriously was canceled like 45 seconds after they're like, all right, here we go. We got a new one here. And like,
Yeah.
nah, it's over. We're done.
Huh.
We're good.
UNT's own Scott
Did
Bakula.
it? I thought it canceled like fucking 3 episodes in.
I don't know. Did you watch the 3 episodes?
I heard about it.
I heard
I heard about
That was
it.
like
I haven't
years
watched
ago,
it.
too.
It hasn't been years.
Years?
it was like this year.
3 years?
It was
no.
this
No,
year.
no. It was
Ooh,
like this
look
year or
it up.
last year.
Quantum. Shut up.
I think it was last year. I think it was last year.
It might be.
What's the name of that stupid show?
Quantum Leap.
I'm already at it.
It's not stupid. You're stupid.
Is that you're yeah?
As we all search.
That's the dumb
2022.
Oh yeah. So last year
September of last year. God, it seems like forever ago.
hasn't even been a year yet.
Yeah, damn near a year. I can't wait to have some.
Oh,
fest-
what? It was renewed for a second season.
Oh,
Oh,
shows how much
Jesus.
you know.
God, and they made
Starting in
18
October.
I
episodes
thought
per
you were
season.
in charge of the whole entertainment segment of this thing.
Does it look like I watch a lot of TV? This thing does.
I like TV.
I'm the go out and get out of the house guy. Yeah. no.
Okay. All right. So you're in charge of entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
and
the
that's what I
TV and
said.
movie guy. He's a part-time
I know
nerd.
stuff. Know things. Watch things.
Raymond Lee as Ben Song.
He's the new new Sam.
Look, I got nothing against that guy, but Scott Bakula is
Sounds like you do have something against
Sounds
them.
like you have a little bit. Several Lees in this series here. Raymond Lee, Narissa Lee.
We
I
owe
mean,
it to ourselves to watch at least an episode of that.
There's 18 of them. I'm not watching any.
What's it on?
I'm
I don't know,
very
bullshit.com.
protective of Texas actors, and Scott Bakula, UNT's own. He has
Says
Sam Beckett.
NBC.
That is him.
I don't watch NBC
Yeah, no, it's all about Scott Bakula.
unless it's like Sunday Night Football. That's the only time I watch NBC.
because you like the Carrie Underwood intro.
No, I purposely don't turn it on until 10 minutes after I know.
How much do I have to donate for you to act out the Carrie Underwood Sunday Night Football song?
Oh, Alan will do it for a reasonable
Oh,
price.
yeah.
Yeah.
More
I
reasonable
mean, we have a
person.
fan. We have a
Throw-
Ryan's in here, and yeah, no, he's a massive Carrie Underwood fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude, he loves Carrie
Yeah,
Underwood.
throw a number out there that's donated to charity, and we'll make something happen.
Yeah, Alan will do something for you.
All right, we'll talk.
Do
All
the
right.
Hank Williams version of that.
We could do two versions. I'll do Carrie Underwood. You do Hank. Maybe we do a mashup.
That doesn't sound like us.
Quantum
Okay,
physics
hold
and
on,
Carrie
hold on.
Underwood
Hold
worked
on
into
a
the
second.
same
We're
5 minutes.
we're talking about doing something for charity.
Oh my god, do I hate quantum
and,
Williams.
and doing a mashup between Carrie Underwood and Hank Williams. You're like, yeah, no, I'm out.
I thought it was
but-
like the what's that
But
guy's
hold on. But you will rub baby oil on my belly while I sing the Chicago Bears fight song for
Ultimate
charity.
Warrior. That's who I thought sung that song.
The Ultimate Warrior. R.I.P.
Hank Williams looked like the Ultimate Warrior. Why'd he dress like him, anyways? Those
He did
big
not.
glasses and shit. No,
Because he got in a car crash and
The
has a
Macho
big
Man.
scar across his face, so he had to wear the glasses.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
the
you go.
glasses was the
Yeah.
Macho Man.
They
Ultimate
both
Warrior
tried to
had
kill
the
me.
face paint
1973.
And all the like ribbons tied around his
I don't
biceps.
think Alan has quite the legs as Carrie. I'm telling you, he loves Carrie Underwood. I think she's like so like just meh. Like I'm like, yeah, no, just big out on that. She's just. I mean, they had what Faith Hill there. Faith Hill was there, and I'm like, could you? I mean, she's cute, right? But she's like, none of these. They're not.
But
like,
Carrie Underwood's the younger Faith Hill.
yeah, exactly right. They're just not hot. The hot factor is so low.
Okay.
Like not even blood flow. What's up? About Randy Macho Man, Randy Savage, or
no, just the whole everything that's happened in the last 5 minutes.
you want to go back and talk about aliens? Let's talk some
No,
aliens.
no. I'm not trying to.
Hey,
Hey,
what
do me
I
a
go
favor.
back to my notes.
I'm not trying to bring it back to sports.
This is why when I get
Bringing
three,
it back to
I'm
sports.
right at 3 beers, so now I've already derailed. I'm getting giggly and shit. But we talked about something I don't like.
What, I mean, I don't understand the Carrie Underwood hatred.
I don't.
So apparently you've never watched an episode of Strikeout Beer. If it
or
exists,
you've never seen Sunday Night Football.
If it
She's
exists,
terrible.
Rapid Dave hates it.
Yeah.
With the exception of the league.
All
Don't
right,
you
look,
remember how many times he got banned from TikTok?
And it was mostly about Carrie Underwood.
He once got banned on Rocket League for his opinions on mac and cheese.
It's not that great.
My 3-year-old
I-
will
look,
fucking
I-
shoot you.
We all know that Dave hates everything.
Right. We had a whole segment.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I should just know better.
Like it's like you've never watched the show before.
It's like
been on the show. Like you've been on the show. You've talked to him.
He's gone now.
You've talked to him
It's
before.
almost as if I just want him to get him to talk about it more.
I saw that look on your face. You were shocked.
No,
You were
not really shocked.
eh.
I am a paid actor.
No, you're not. You are not being paid for this appearance. Yeah, we don't pay anybody. You keep looking. I mean, yeah, okay, you got beer, but
That's a paid appearance.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know any
I
other
guess so.
like what better way to be paid than in
I'm
beer?
gonna slap that out of your hand now. We don't pay
File
nobody.
that disclosure.
What are you drinking tonight, Lee?
So I'm drinking Sycamore Juiciness, hazy IPA out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Well, because Lee was talking. That's why we were quiet. Like it has nothing to do with you. Don't flatter yourself.
Oh no, I was like, you guys are weirdos. Just
No.
say something. It's
All
a
right,
podcast.
Sycamore, and then I also have from Eno River in Full Steam, Friendship is Magic, the hazy
Ooh.
unicorn IPA.
That sounds like something I want to get my hands
suck.
on.
So which one of these two IPAs is better?
Do you want a pale ale? We have a pale ale right there.
I'll do the pale ale.
One's cosmic. It's the
Like
theme of the
space.
show.
Oh, I do
Oh,
like that.
Also,
appreciate
I'll give this out to the show as well. If y'all run into cans of Pony Pills, the Lakewood SMU beer, let me know. Because apparently all the cans sold out of the brewery because Andrews bought all of the cans, and I would like to have some to watch SMU lose some football games this year.
So were they distributed?
They were distributed. So Andrews bought all of them for distribution, but it's been crazy in demand. The tap room, they went through 12 slims in about a week and a half. Like, it's crazy in demand there because SMU students got a drink.
Ray just said Pony Pills just posted.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna?
I've been talking to Ray. Yeah.
Are we gonna get into aliens?
Yeah.
Affecting the outcome of sporting events?
I haven't heard of this, but go on.
Well, I mean, how else can you explain things that have happened in sporting event, like Tom Brady winning all those Super Bowls, for instance? Like, you don't think there was some bigger thing happening? I'm saying aliens were involved.
Oh, Jesus.
So you're saying Tom Brady isn't the greatest football player of all time?
No.
It was aliens.
No, aliens were involved.
Huh.
The only logical explanation.
Or he's just the greatest football player.
Wait and see what happens with the Jets this season. Because if anybody's talking to aliens in the NFL, it's Aaron Rodgers.
I'm telling you right now, that's going to end up being a big train wreck.
I don't know what
I wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs.
Like, what's his relationship like with the aliens? I mean, I would agree. I think he is probably. If anybody's
are you familiar with the Hat Man?
The Hat Man? No.
Aaron Rodgers, he got crazy into ayahuasca a couple years ago, and then he went on a darkness retreat where he just went to a dark cabin.
Yeah.
So apparently he saw the Hat Man, which is seen by people that do deliriants. Like if you take 700 milligrams of Benadryl, which you shouldn't do because it might kill you, you see a person.
How much kills you?
700 apparently.
About 400 to 700 milligrams will kill you.
Or you could take
depending on your weight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. Go for it.
Ask it for a friend.
Ask it for a friend.
But like,
depending on your weight, you could probably take.
Aaron Rodgers saw this tall person in a flat brim hat, like a wide hat, and we know that because he won't shut up about it, and he keeps on talking to his teammates. And like, there was one comment in the locker room like, Aaron Rodgers won't shut up about seeing the Hat Man.
I haven't seen it once.
I was
on
like,
Hard Knocks.
Well, no, because I was.
Are you watching Hard Knocks?
I am.
They didn't even want to be on Hard Knocks. They tried to get out of that.
I was drunk in a pool.
I'm more shocked by that than anything else. Don't you hate Hard Knocks?
He does.
I do.
He does. And he's been telling me for the last 5 months, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. And that show last week was like, hey, did you watch Hard Knock? We talking it today? I was like, you told me you weren't watching it. He's like, yeah, I watched it.
He's not. He's not watching it.
I watched it.
I got hammered in the pool last Tuesday.
Here's my thing.
Having pizza and shit.
The Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knocks isn't the Aaron Rodgers everywhere else.
No, it's a fake.
He's definitely hamming it up for the camera. Oh yeah. It's
a stunt double.
Or is it an alien?
I think so. Wait until the Bears fans find out if aliens.
So was he like full throttle with? Is that with his Green Bay teammates that he was doing the Hat Man bit thing?
Yes.
Or
he was doing it the last season and into this season as well. So everybody in both locker rooms are like, wow, he keeps on talking about the Hat Man.
I kind of like Aaron Rodgers a little more now than I did before.
He's also the same
guy. What do you think about
that?
Yeah, I know. I'm in on that. I think he looks like a nice guy right all of a sudden. Like, I think he finally got out of Green Bay. He was tired of that small market bullshit.
Like, I hated that. I hated that dude.
And now he's like, no, I'm actually liking him.
I kind of, yeah.
I'm just sitting on the couch like,
now I like that he's went to the darkness retreat.
He's mentoring, what's his name?
Zach, I'm going to F your mother, Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. He's mentoring him. He's like kind of, I'm telling you.
Seriously.
He is, he's looking good. And he's being real personable and
which is not him at all.
Well, he's just worn out. 20 years in.
Is he an alien?
No.
Yeah, he's probably an alien.
Has he been?
But have you heard the stories about Aaron Rodgers over the last several years? I think it was
a lot of motion.
I think it was Deshaun Kaiser was a backup for him, right?
The Kaiser
with Green Bay.
Did you say Sean Kaiser?
Deshaun.
Okay. I thought he said Sean Kaiser. Like,
Deshaun.
okay.
Fucking whiten his
And
name up. Yeah.
He would talk about how he'd be sitting there on the sideline talking to Rodgers during a game.
Why'd you say it like that? How he be on the sideline?
He'd just be on the side, just whatever, man.
He was
I'm just saying, just
Sean Kaiser, not Sean Kaiser.
but he would be sitting there talking about lizard people to him who live underground in the earth. Like he'd come off the field, just throw a touchdown, and he would get back. So, anyways, about these lizard people that live under the underground.
You know,
Here's what's going on with them.
I actually don't believe in lizard people at all.
Really?
It's David Icke's so full of shit. Yeah.
The lizard people thing is complete. That just sounds
Also,
like.
Can you see my lizard person tattoo? Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's
I
for
apologize.
no. It's for my daughter. Her nickname is Lizard, so I got a lizard dressed like Queen
He's
Elizabeth
showing us
the
his
First.
lizard person tattoo.
As I talk shit about lizard people,
No.
that
It's
believe in lizard people.
It's just because of my daughter, who her nickname is Lizard.
Okay.
So yeah.
I was like, obviously, it doesn't mean much. So he put it on his forearm.
Right. It means nothing to him.
Don't worry about it.
So I've turned the corner on
Lizard
hating
people?
hating Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers.
lizard people.
No,
Okay.
no, lizard people are still out.
Okay,
That's
okay.
just total fucking
Way out.
nonsense. But Aaron Rodgers, he could be
A lizard person?
an alien.
Okay.
He's not a lizard person.
We'll
I
see
mean,
how
I think
low I get
that's
this number
obvious.
to go.
Do you think lizard people would be that good at football? Because I don't.
Nah,
They wouldn't be good at football.
doesn't seem like it.
They would about to get sacked, just shed their tail,
Yeah,
let the
right.
tail go around.
That's a plus.
All of a sudden, his wiener's just sitting there flopping on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a defensive end is gonna jump on the tail. Aaron Rodgers in there.
Yeah.
Option in there. Touchdown.
I don't know what that. I
Going
don't know what that
once.
means, Boner. What's
I think
TMFINR?
Boner's having a stroke.
Yeah, it's like he sent us a bunch of stars all of a sudden. I go, I almost text him. And go, hey man, I think your kid or
Teenage
somebody's
Mutant
touching.
effing. I don't know. Who is that?
It's Boner.
No, he's talking about the letters or what the name he put in there.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody
I don't
knows.
know what that means.
Do you know what that is, Lee? Hold on.
No,
Let
I
me
have
show
no
you. You
idea.
can't see it. Yeah,
I
that.
can see it
Yeah,
on
the
my
previous
side.
comment about the Bears fans finding out. Yeah, how else did those field goals stay out? Like
How
that
else
one
did the
hit
Bears ever win a game?
hit like
Aliens.
both crossbars and both uprights and the crossbar and fell out.
The
Like you don't
triple
think
doink,
aliens
man.
were involved in that?
Yeah, the triple doink.
I just think the Bears.
That just
suck.
defied
See,
The
physics.
Bears just suck.
See,
Oh,
That.
that motherfucker is not real.
oh yeah, there you go.
That
Lady
lady,
from
yeah.
Dallas. Lady
I
from
told you she's
lady
hot.
from Dallas.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
What?
Have you seen her?
No.
Oh, she's
Jesus,
so
look
hot.
that up.
How
She's
have
so
you
hot.
not seen
That
this?
chick that came on there was like, oh, I bought. I go, that ain't her. That is not the same woman. I'm telling you, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Brad.
Yeah.
Everybody in the world was like
And-
trying to go, I need to find this girl, not for any, personal reasons, but personal reasons.
I just need to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
What
then
beers y'all
Alan,
drinking tonight?
Alan and Dave, I will say I only got maybe 10 minutes left, but I do have one more thing I want to talk about and make sure I get in,
Let's do it.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, this is gonna be heavy, and I'm not gonna cry during this, but
Oh God.
so
oh, yeah. I think I know where you're
my-
going. Yeah.
my
it-
father-in-law,
No. Chill.
my father-in-law was honestly like one of my biggest influence, even though I've only been married to Shannon about 10 years, 11 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was huge into Coast to Coast AM. And I'm talking about listening back the 70s, 80s, and he was always into traveling and in tech, like early tech, like .com bubble kind of stuff.
Right.
And so he traveled, and he was so they lived in College Station, Texas, because my mother-in-law worked for A&M and whatever, lived in College Station. He was in New York on September 10th, 2001. And he,
Something
no, not New York City, New York
Oh,
State.
okay.
Yeah, sorry. And then 9/11 happened. He's like, shit, I guess I'm not going to fly out of the city.
Anywhere.
So he somehow found a rental car, and he talks about that entire trip. He had a bunch of cassettes of Coast to Coast AM, and he drove that shit through 2 days where he was just listening to Coast to Coast AM, turning it off in the middle of the night, listening to Coast AM, and just him he just talked about I don't know, just like the education he gave himself and just listening and just thinking about it. So him and I would stay up late night and talk about aliens and whatever. And then he ended up moving in with us in not on purpose, because he came to visit us when our second child was born in March 2020. I was like, hey, we're going to stay for a week. And then the pandemic happened. And shit, they ended up staying with us for 9 months.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was unexpected, but we would stay up. And he had already been diagnosed with dementia at that point, vascular dementia, because of a stroke. Very dissimilar from Alzheimer's, but it kind of looks the same because hardening the arteries in the brain. And but he would still be able to talk about that. Like, we could talk about aliens and disclosure and the government, that kind of stuff, and all of our opinions on it. So then they moved to Florida, because Florida, for all they get wrong, they do senior care right. Like, they would stroke his wife a check to be his caretaker, so he wouldn't have to go to a home. She would get a check for like $3,000 a month. Like, really good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, if you dementia, Florida, go there.
We're actually going through that with the mother-in-law right now.
Florida?
No, the vascular.
Yeah, she moved to Florida to get $3,000 a month.
Let me know if you have any questions, because yeah, we dealt with it for like, he had a stroke 10 years ago, and really the dementia part only started about 6 years ago.
Damn.
And then got approved for hospice right around last Christmas. Hospice, not like what you think of, because my boss told me about it, where you can go in and out. You don't have to stay there, Roach Motel, check in, don't check out. No, you can go back and forth. It's just the quality of care you get. And so the UFO subcommittee meeting was on July 23rd. And talked to him about it briefly. Couldn't talk that much. Ask him what he saw, whatever. He passed away on the 28th. From dementia. So it's going through all these emotions of like everything. Matt was such a big influence for me, just a dedicated 1970s to present coast to coast listener. And then recently, even with Hardwick, what was his name? Bill Hardwick, I forget, the voice of Dale Gribble.
Yeah.
Just passing away. Just like all of it coming just full circle. Just like, I don't know. It's crazy because Art Bell passed away. George Norrie from Coast to Coast is going to pass away eventually. He's old as shit. George Knapp as well, who's a legend. He's going to pass away. It's just like, it really brought forward, like, it's our generation now. Like, we have to take all of this movement forward. So I'm glad that all these old fucking assholes in Congress that ask bullshit questions are going to be gone soon. And hopefully we can get some real answers.
Damn it, Blue was old. That's what old people do.
That's what old people do. I did get a so you're talking about like the old and the new, and you had that new congressman who he's only been in Congress for like 6 months, and he spent half his time talking about how it's so great to see this come together and we're all bipartisan. But then his last thing he says is, "Oh, it's all bipartisan." But if you look at our side of the aisle, we have this person here and this person here, and these are our senior reigning members and blah, 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 blah. But we're bipartisan. But just so you know, the senior people here are from our side of the aisle, but we're bipartisan. So just know that. And
you just want to punch somebody in the face and be like, you assholes, we almost had it.
Yeah, every time you fucking deal with anything, I was like, oh, let's bring in some youth. I'm like, yeah, definitely youth. And then you get a fucking waitress that doesn't know how to fucking talk.
So I know you got to leave, Lee. I got one more question real quick. While I have two experts in here in the studio right now, in you and Mr. Michael Hinson. So this is a question for both of you. With the two of you being what I would deem two super fans of the WNBA, what are your guys' thoughts on Breanna Stewart becoming the first player in WNBA history to have 3 40-point games in one season?
You want to fill this one first?
personally, when you're playing against a bunch of other incompetent competition, then it
Amplifies.
if you have anything at
Any-
all.
any
I
kind
mean,
of
I would
talent.
average 40.
He just put down 40. You're like 40,
I would drop
20,
40
and 10.
every night.
Like, would you give up like like rebounds and shit? Like, you know what I'm like? You get that one and just fucking throw me the ball.
I don't know if they'd count it. I would just tip balls to other people so they could get rebounds.
Okay.
I don't know that I've ever met anybody with as much vaginal hubris as this guy.
Well, I mean, you know,
Can
you can't play in the WNBA?
Will you define that?
I mean, I know you can't.
You're very proud of your vagina.
I am.
You can hit him. I don't care.
No, I'm very proud.
I've been waiting for somebody to knock up the fucking window.
I tell you every week to do it, and you just back
So
down.
that's-
Well,
So-
Lizzie tells me not to.
So that's my 2 cents. I mean, somebody had to do it.
Kids.
And Breonna Stewart did it.
Somebody had to do it. And, unfortunately,
It wasn't you.
it wasn't a dude playing a chick, which would have been way more funny
I'm
and
saying we need
awesome.
to bring it in and then lower the goals about 9 feet, and then he's out there
Like-
just jump balling.
Like you would have hoped it was Joanna Man.
You're damn right I would have.
Yeah, I don't know why not. Come on.
I would like to convince LeBron James to
Oh, so you're on the Trump side of things because Trump said, dude, if
re-gender.
I owned a WNBA team, I would just tell LeBron James, hey, just tell everyone you're a girl right now, and we'd win the championship every year.
There you go.
We wouldn't just win.
But look at the salary cap.
Whatever he wanted.
He would reinvent the salary cap so that they're paid more, though.
I say pay him equally.
Or
as
she
the
would.
pros.
I'm sorry,
talked about
she
it all
would.
the time.
I would just pay him under the table. I wouldn't even bother with.
Yeah, what's the point, right?
What's the point?
Lee, your thoughts on Breonna Stewart and her record?
But he would have to wear a wig. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go, Lee. Sorry.
I mean, she's up there with Jewel Lloyd or Alana Smith of the Chicago Sky and of course Jewel Lloyd of the Seattle Storm.
Names out of a hat. I have no.
No,
idea.
he was just looking down at.
I'm looking at my roster. I'm looking at my roster.
He's looking at his WWE roster.
Those aren't real fucking names.
Those aren't real names. Just making
Because
shit
I
up.
was like, shit, I'm in first place right now, still in the league, right?
Stormtrooper
Okay,
helmets.
cool.
God damn, I forgot about that league. What is that?
Galactus.
Is that on Yahoo?
ESPN.
No, ESPN.
Yeah, Yahoo doesn't have a WNBA league.
That's fucked up.
I can't believe anybody does.
Yeah.
We do.
What accomplishment. It's not for us, it's for the fan.
It's for the people. But Lee, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem.
The pleasure's
Anytime,
all on
guys.
this side of the table. I'm looking forward to our next talk. I don't know this side. I don't. You probably haven't noticed, but today I'm wearing my Bigfoot shirt that says "Believe in yourself,"
Oh, good.
even if nobody else does.
Let's see how the Russian
So-
prisoners are doing.
They're not doing great.
Oh man, we are 4-7. That is
Yeah.
not good. How much is the season still going?
It's almost playoff time.
Am I gonna miss the playoff?
You probably are. You probably are.
I should have looked at this sooner.
You should have. You should have.
Now wait a
but-
minute. Why do I have 0 points? I have an illegal lineup.
It may,
You're
or
gonna
or you're not in the
You're
playoffs.
gonna finish saying goodbye.
Or there are not any games today.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
there is no games today. They don't
Yeah.
ever. They've strategically not put any.
They've
games
played
on
one
Wednesdays.
Monday the whole season. Like Mondays, they all get Mondays off.
Yeah.
Because they have a case of the Mondays, so
I
they
call-
just take it
Suck.
off.
Yeah.
I think that
Mhm.
conspiracy.
Aliens, right?
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no reason that I should have 0 points right now.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
besides
just for
the fact that your team sucks.
It's just for
but-
the day.
Oh yeah, I got Ryan Howard and
That's-
Kalia Copper,
Ryan Howard was the first baseman for the
Elizabeth
Phillies.
Williams.
All right, guys. All right.
Thanks.
Well, we'll talk WNBA and UFOs later.
I can't wait, brother. Thank you so much for joining
All
us.
right.
We appreciate it. We'll talk to you
Later,
later.
y'all.
Later.
Fucking
The great Lee Knox. It's always great when he comes on. We talk aliens. We talk Bigfoot, Nessie,
Tiffany
conspiracy
Hayes
theories.
is my utility player.
I thought you said Biff. And I go, yeah, man, Biff from. I mean, he was a hell of a character from
Back to the Future.
I saw Biff.
I saw you guys space out
What do you mean?
Oh, I expect that the whole fucking time.
I was
Have you seen me
interacting
live? I
the
never left the
entire
room so many times in
time.
my life. I was like, I just go to the beer fridge. I was out there watching TV with Lizzie at one
You
point.
guys wanted to have an alien show, and
we
we the
did.
alien guy on, and he's checked out.
It's not a fucking we
He's-
thing. It's an Alan thing. I don't want to do it.
Oh, you hate aliens too?
Yeah, I know. You know,
I don't know if you know this or not, but
I don't know what these
Hold on a
fuckers
second.
figuring it out.
he's an alien.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that the wrong way. Crap.
No, it was great.
Yeah.
Every time we have them on, usually we have we'll change the light color in here. If you weren't here, we'd have an alien blow up doll like right there where you're
Same
sitting.
difference.
Yeah. And,
I mean, I just talk more. That's it's the only real difference.
I'd like to ask you a question here. And if I could just freeze up,
Stop.
I've never seen anybody freeze up more times in my life.
So I was thinking waffle.
The headphones,
Fuck it.
man.
It's the headphones. I do gotta get some new ones. These are old. I love those Tascam ones, but yeah, no, I got other ones. Oh yeah, I do got another pair over there.
Brad, that's exactly what an alien would say.
Yeah, totally not alien.
He also said, "Nice job, Lee." Yeah, great job, Lee.
He always does a good job.
Always. The guy's got notes prepared.
Nothing
just-
beats our the first one though.
the first one. We had a great time in that first one.
Are you trying to say I'm not as prepared as Lee?
Where are your notes?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that. That's fine.
They're up here.
Okay.
Yeah, good job. Doing great. Doing the Lord's work. All right. What are we doing now? Or what do we do we have to do a post-show chug? Do we got to do a
We got to do two. We got to do after. We
Patreon?
got to do the Patreon After Dark show and the chug. So
what's the after show?
we're gonna talk Phil Mickelson.
What do you say? It's so weird.
It came out weird. When I
And now
first
he's
said
gonna complain
Phil
about like the
Mickelson, his name, and it needs to have an easier name like Smith.
He lost a lot of money.
Dude, it's insane. But we're going to talk about that. If you guys aren't part of our Patreon,
You should be.
you should join. It's $3 a month. You can get it as cheap as $3 a month.
I mean, if
Buy
you're
us a
gonna
beer.
waste your money,
you're not wasting it. That buys us beer.
Yeah, buy us a beer.
I'm saying if you're gonna waste money,
Oh,
most people waste money.
Yeah.
Am I right?
oh yeah, yeah.
You might as well waste it on something.
So we're a waste of money.
You might as well
That's
waste.
what you're saying.
Well, I didn't want to say it exactly like that.
You a woman or
Okay.
something? Like God, just twisting words
God.
and stuff like that.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
saying,
saying.
like,
He just said if you're going to waste
contributing-
money, waste
if
it
you're
on
gonna
us.
if you're gonna waste money, then waste money on the beer fund for the Strikeout beer guys.
But also, here's a fun fact:
Oh, God.
your first month is on me. I'm gonna.
What
You sign up for
That's what he
Patreon.
says. I don't know.
does he do this?
I haven't seen receipts.
I've tried.
He says
I have. Every person I've hit up that's subscribed,
I
I
keep
said,
trying
hey,
and the card just doesn't go through.
I
don't know
said,
what's
no,
going
I
on.
said, hey,
I forgot my wallet.
no, it's not that. I tell them like, hey, let me give me your, how do you want me to send you your money? PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, whatever. And they tell me, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, I want to pay for your first month. That's what I said I would do. And they won't give me the,
They're like, no,
I mean, we
Yeah.
give away like gift cards and shit in there.
you're
So
not
if you're
giving
like-
me that $3.
If you're paying
They don't want
attention,
it.
hell, you might get $10 or $20 or something
Well,
like that.
how many of them have done that to you?
2.
All right, well, I'll take $6 if you just want to.
It's $3.
Well, it's a $3 sign. I mean, if
No,
you're
I
going to
know,
do $6
but
a
if two
month,
people have already
No,
done
I'm
it,
not. You're not.
Send me
well,
the
you're
money.
not part of the Patreon, so I'm not giving you.
I'm saying I'll join the Patreon. I'm going
I'll
in
give you
saving
$3.
$9. That's like
You know what?
I get 3 months worth because those other idiots didn't take the deal.
I want their money.
I want their bonus.
I'll tell you, you sign up for it today.
I'm
I'll
not
send
that
you
cheap.
$9.
I'm screwing
I'll
with
send you $9.
Guys,
How's
I'll
that
send
sound?
you $9. God, let's
I'll
get
do
out of
it.
here.
I'm on the video saying it. So TJ says he likes money. But guys, the
Mark likes
link's
it.
right there. Patreon.com/strikeout beer. We do an extra episode a week, as well as we post the beers we're going to drink for the show coming up, as well as we do other
tried
stuff
to-
in there.
You waved the light at him. You've started the music.
Just trying to
He
promote
keeps-
our stuff.
I know, but I had to kill it because you know how quick it goes, man.
It does. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
But
Fucking
sign
amazing
up.
to me.
Support us. Buy us a beer. We'd appreciate it.
I like beer.
I like beer.
I
Do you like beer?
I love it.
He loves beer too.
It's pretty fun.
And TJ likes money. So
I like money.
Money's
I
pretty
like
cool.
money. But hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We love you guys. See you next week. How's
All right.
that sound? As always, I'm Alan,
Rubber Dave.
and that's Michael Hinson. Talk to you guys later. Deuces.
I would say that was successful.
Yeah, I mean, still got music playing and stuff. Show's still going. Thank you for listening to Strikeout Beer.